Now we will discuss about a parallel plate capacitor, that is, we will study about its arrangement and we will study about its capacitance. So in the previous topic we discussed about the different types of capacitors. We have parallel plate capacitors, spherical capacitors and cylindrical capacitors. So these capacitors are classified based on the shape of the conductor we choose. Okay. So but in our syllabus it is restricted. We are going to study only about the parallel plate capacitor. Let's try to understand what it means. So as the name itself is suggesting, parallel plate means, so it is system of two conductors where both the conductors are going to be in the shape of parallel plate. Both the conductors are going to be in the shape of a plate and they are going to be parallel to each other. That's why we call them as a parallel plate capacitor. Let's see what is the definition of it. So parallel plate capacitor consists of two large parallel conducting plates separated by a small distance. So if you are able to think this kind of a system, then we call that as a parallel plate capacitor. Now what we will do is, see, generally we told that capacitor means you need to have two conductors separated by a dielectric medium. In this case what we will do is we will consider the dielectric medium to be vacuum. The effect of dielectric medium between the plates is discussed in the next section. So we will discuss about the dielectric in the next video. Now if suppose let A be the area of cross section. So let A be the area of cross section of each plate and D be the distance of separation between the plates, and plus Q and minus Q be the charges that are getting deposited on each plates. So here we are going to follow one approximation. Observe this. Since D is much smaller than the linear dimension of the plate, means if you observe D square is going to be very much less than A, or you can say D is also very much less than A. Now what we can do is, we can use the result of the electric field due to an infinite plane sheet that we discussed in Gauss law concept. We know that the electric field due to an infinite plane sheet on one side is going to be E is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. So this is the result we are going to use. And remember, sigma is equal to Q into A. So these are all the points that need to be in your mind. Now let's see. Now plate 1, so I am talking about plate 1 has a surface charge density of Q by A, and plate 2 also has the same surface charge density Q by A with a negative sign. Now we will try to calculate the electric field in different regions. So this is region number 1, this region number 2, and this is between the plates. So if you look at the outer region, in the outer region what happens is, due to the positive charge the electric field is in the upward direction, due to the negative charge the electric field is in the downward direction. Since both have the same surface charge density, electric field due to the positive is sigma by 2 epsilon naught, plus electric field due to the negative is minus sigma by 2 epsilon naught, because they both are in opposite direction, they get cancelled out and it will be 0. Now we will see what happens at the bottom. Similarly, if you observe at the bottom, that is at the second region, the electric field due to the positive charge is in the downward direction, the electric field due to the negative charge is in the upward direction. If you observe, these two are also in the opposite direction. So what happens is, still the electric field is going to be 0. Whereas what is happening between the plates of the capacitor? If you observe between the plates of the capacitor, you have positive charge here, negative charge here. So electric field due to positive charge is away from it, electric field due to negative charge is also towards it. So electric field due to the negative charge is towards it. If you observe, they both are in the same direction. So what will happen is, their electric field will get added. So electric field due to the positive charge is sigma by 2 epsilon naught, plus electric field due to the negative charge is also sigma by 2 epsilon naught. See, there might be one confusion that is getting arised. Since we have negative plate, why am I not writing it as minus sigma? I told you Whenever you're dealing with vector quantities, just write the magnitude because direction will be taken care by that particular vector. Here our concern is only about the direction. The magnitude for both is going to be the same. So sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught is going to be equal to sigma by epsilon naught. So this is going to be the electric field between the plates, but sigma is nothing but Q by A. So Q divided by epsilon naught into A is going to be the electric field. So have this in your mind. So E is equal to Q divided by epsilon naught A. Now let's see what are all the approximations we are doing here. See, the direction of electric field is from positive to the negative plate. This is clear for us. We have already discussed about the properties of electric field, and they are always from the positive charge to the negative charge. Thus the electric field is localized between the two plates and is uniform throughout. So please note this. The electric field is localized between the plates and is uniform throughout because it doesn't depend on any of the distances. It is just Q divided by epsilon naught A. Now what happens for plates with finite area is, observe this, for plates with finite area this result is not true, but what we have considered here is of infinite area. So observe, we have told two large conducting plates means their length is more. Okay, but for plates with finite area this result will not be true near the outer boundaries of the plate. So what generally happens is, at the outer boundaries, if the plate is of finite area, you will not have the electric field in a straight line path, rather you will have it like this in a curved path. So this curved path is what is called as the fringing effect. We call this effect as fringing effect. So the field lines, so observe here, for plates with finite area this will not be true near the outer boundaries of the plate. The field lines get bent outward at the edges and an effect called fringing of the field, this is called as fringing effect. Fringing of the field takes place. So by the same token, sigma will not be strictly uniform on the entire plate. So if this kind of a pattern happens, then the value of the surface charge density also cannot be uniform. So if that is the case, we will not be able to follow all the above derivations that we have derived. Okay, so what we will do is, since we have already taken the approximation d square is very much less than A, the fringing effect can be ignored in the regions sufficiently far from the edges, and the field there is given by this value, and the field is given by Q divided by epsilon naught A. Now for uniform electric field, since we are saying electric field is uniform, the potential difference is simply going to be E times D. Let's see why it is so. We have discussed V is equal to, E is equal to minus dV divided by dr. So here the negative sign has no indication because we know that the electric field is from higher to lower potential. Now here what we can do is, we can do the approximation. In the place of dV we can just write it as V, in the place of dr we can just write it as the distance of separation. It is only because of the reason that the field is uniform, the potential difference is simply going to be E times D. So V can be written as E times D. So this is what is written here. Now keeping all these factors in mind, let's try to write it. So we have derived E is equal to Q divided by epsilon naught A, then V is given as E into D. So E is going to be Q divided by Q divided by epsilon naught into A into D, but Q is also written as sigma into A divided by epsilon naught A into D. This and this will get cancelled. It is going to be sigma into D divided by epsilon naught. So this is the value of V. Now what is capacitance? So we know that capacitance is equal to Q divided by V. Okay, so Q is again going to be sigma into A divided by V is going to be sigma into D divided by epsilon naught. Sigma and sigma will get cancelled. It will be epsilon naught A by D. So the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor is given by the formula epsilon naught A divided by D. So in the previous video, we discussed one important point. We told that the capacitance does not depend on the charge and the potential difference. It depends only on the geometrical properties. So what are the geometrical properties? Capacitance depends on, first, area of cross section. Second, distance of separation between plates. And the third is the intervening medium. So in this case, the intervening medium is vacuum. That is why we got epsilon. Had it been something else, in the place of epsilon, you will get some other value, some other permittivity.